Hello, welcome back to the podcast, guys. I am the host, Mr. 2020, Jamie Tucker. My co-host is the golden one, Mike Orange. And this week we're going to review John Cena visiting the WWE Performance Center. Seth Rollins had to vacate the world title on Raw. Adam Copeland, apparently he's absent from AEW due to acting commitments. And the Good Brothers have a upcoming MLW debut coming up in November. We also got to look at John Cena's farewell tour, what we think, how it's been. Also rumors that I haven't confirmed it yet, Xavier Woods' contract. He's actually signed a new multi-year deal with the WWE. And we'll probably also bring up the high ticket prices that make me and Mike angry. So, Mike, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy. How are you today?
I am doing fantastic. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's more than just what I mentioned going on in the wrestling world within the last week. And it's been like 2 weeks since we actually were on the podcast. But, life's busy and we both got to take care of our personal lives first and foremost. And then, of course, we do love to talk about wrestling. The funny thing is we've talked several times between the last 2 weeks, but just not on the podcast. We talked randomly through phone conversations, like we normally do several times a week, but nothing to do with the podcast. So here we are.
Yeah, I'm happy that we're back. Last week we was tried to do an episode, but we tried to do video and surprise everybody. And the producer, which we know pretty well, just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah,
but he's working on it.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of hiccups there, guys, with our software, and we're still getting through that. But we are going to debut, and we are going to have that up on YouTube and sources that will allow video podcasts, and you'll be able to watch us and listen if you choose to. But we still hope you're enjoying the car rides with our podcast. When you're sitting at home, instead of listening to music, you're listening to the podcast. Or maybe you go to the gym and listen to the podcast, like I do with podcasts on the treadmills and bikes and stuff. But regardless of how you're listening, we appreciate you listening each and every time that we put out a new pod. But, so Mike, anything new going on at the home front, with Mike, the golden one right now? Any good stories from back in the Roanoke, Virginia, Montville, Bedford area?
No, everything's about the same. What was it, about 2 days ago? It was all over Facebook that a food truck kind of exploded in Roanoke somewhere. That hurt like 2 people, but that's like the main topic, like around us.
How'd you saw that?
Yeah, the store that I'm at currently, uh, going through a remodel, and yeah, it looks nice, but you can't find nothing in that store anymore. uh, but like we got a couple new people that's about to start working where I'm at, so hopefully they work out. Just like the Rock says, they need to know their role and shut their hole.
Okay.
When like I'm just just go in there and do your job. That way I don't have to do as much.
Absolutely.
Just like I'm just there to get a paycheck, take care of my family. That's it. It's definitely not a career. The career might start one day, but at this point, it's not a career. Just a place I can get money. So you got to do what you got to for your family and stuff. That's where I'm at on that one.
Right. Well, hey, I understand that part, the career thing sometimes. I started off young. I thought my career was going to be forever in the pro wrestling business. I went many years, being able to do it. but it didn't panhandle out when I got a little older. And now, I've done different things, and but it is how it goes in life. Life's very unpredictable, roller coaster ride sometimes. It ain't always up and it ain't always down. It's always up, down, So it's just the way it goes, and I know everything that you're doing, that you're going to succeed because you're a hard worker, and you're a good dude. You got a kind heart. I know you don't want people to know that about you, but you really are, and or I wouldn't be friends with you. And we have you're a really good friend of mine. So, couldn't say I couldn't appreciate you any more than I do. But yeah.
So you got any good stories in Florida that
Well,
happened a couple days or something?
well, down here, other than, I'm working on the side here. I'm working on some, different things. I'll be honest with you. I got a new venture I'm trying to work into, Mike. I didn't mention this on the phone call earlier, but the last couple of days, um, I'm working at getting into motivational speaking. I've already talked to someone. They're connecting me with the right people, just to go out, tell my story about the ups and downs, the depression that sets in when you lose your jobs or your career or whatever, how to escape that. Not saying you can't really avoid it, because your feelings are your feelings and we're all human, but there's a way and not to mask it. There's a way to beat it. And, um, that's one avenue I'm trying to get into right now, and I hope to have more information on that coming up in the weeks to come. On top of that, this public speaking I'm talking about there, still working on the South Atlantic Pro Wrestling thing, guys. It's not on the back burner. We hadn't talked about it the last couple of podcasts, but I will bring it up real shortly and briefly to let you know that it's still in the works. It's still going on. I'm talking to various independent promotions to possibly get a working relationship to get this South Atlantic heavyweight title tournament started on their shows. And then when we get up to the inaugural first reboot of the 2025-2026 version of South Atlantic Pro Wrestling, that it's going to be in full gear and kick it. And we're going to just have a good time and get the new champion crowned and so forth. So there'll be more updates on that as well. But other than that, working on some projects here and there, and obviously I'm working, still working 5 days a week, doing that gig and making it work. So, but big things on the horizon. I see it coming, and I know it's going to be good. And I look forward to sharing it, not just with Mike in private conversations, because we talk about wrestling and things that we're going to do and things we want to do and family trips or whatever. We always talk about everything, but we're going to bring all that information I just mentioned to each and every one of you as well. So be ready for that. So yeah. But in Florida, life is good. Enjoying the weather. It's still pretty warm here every day, and been sunny lately. The rainy season looks like it's already left us. It is October, and cooling off in the next couple of weeks, which the highs are going to be in the 70s. So that's our cool off.
Okay. Up in Virginia right now, our kind of cool off is around 60s this week.
Okay.
So,
But your lows are more. What's your lows?
well, kind of like at night, it's like it drops down to like up in the 40s.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So,
about
so it's
right.
not bad. It's
Yeah.
not bad yet. So,
Well, good, man. I know I'm going to miss some of that fall weather. I really ain't going to miss the winter weather, but some of that fall weather I'm probably going to miss, because I do love fall. Fall's one of my favorite seasons. Fall and spring and summer. Winter I can do without, but in Virginia you kind of get a short winter, in my opinion. I don't know what you think about it, but you kind of get a short winter. But when it's winter, it's cold.
oh yeah, it ain't nothing like it used to be. It used to be like snow for like days and weeks. Now it's, well, like it'll snow one day, and then the very next day it's pretty much gone. So,
Yeah.
um, so I don't know. Like I like the snow and stuff, but I don't like it on the roads because people in Virginia don't know how to drive. Uh,
That's
so
everywhere. You should see some of the crazies here.
nah, Virginia's pretty bad, man. So
Well, I live there too. I know. I understand. It's
yeah,
bad
you was
everywhere, I
one.
guess.
Yeah, you was one of them. That was pretty bad here.
Probably. You're probably right.
But like it's good. Like I like the cooler weather. I don't like the cold completely anymore. Uh, but the snow, I like how it looks. It's pretty and everything.
Yeah.
Just if it stays off the roads and just in the grass and stuff, it'd be like perfect and everything. So
Yeah. True. True. Well, Mike, being that we touch base on and let people know what's going on in our personal lives and what we've been up to. So, you know, um, I'm looking at the news, the wrestling news, that is. The regular news just drives me crazy. I try not to watch it as much. But the wrestling news, since we're a wrestling podcast, let's start off with the Good Brothers, because I know you like to watch Talking Shop and all that, bro. You love the Good Brothers. So let's start off with the Good Brothers. I'm going to start it off, and then I'm going to go into you, because you know so much more about the Good Brothers, because you follow them a little bit more than me, and modern day wrestling you follow a little more than me. But so their debut is coming up for MLW, which is a big thing for MLW. That's some big acquisitions right there. It's probably some of the biggest they've had in company history, with the Good Brothers coming in. And they're scheduled to make their debut on November 20th, which happens to be in Charleston, South Carolina, for I guess it's a pay-per-view or a taping or something. But I also want to put out there, Mike, before I turn it over to you to talk more about what goes on in their Talking Shop and their podcast and stuff, and update us on that. But Arn Anderson as well, guys, he is going to be there making an appearance for MLW in Charleston, South Carolina, and being a former horseman for all them years, and NWA Crockett to WCW mainstay, and that was a WCW main town back in the day, and Crockett. That's big news too, to just have Arn appear.
oh yeah, it's always good to have any of the horsemen coming back to the Carolinas. Uh, you they could be heels, they could be faces, whatever. But when you get any of the horsemen back into horseman's country, man, that's a Road Warrior pop right there
Yeah.
every time.
Yep. Absolutely. So, speaking of Road Warrior Pops, I hate to get off subject. Want you to fill us in on some Good Brother news here in a minute, since we're on that subject. But a Road Warrior Pop. Now, it's very widely known, when you got the Road Warrior Pop in the arena, that you knew what a real pop was. So my question is this. You know how we've heard, and I'm going to say it, I was in the arenas when all these guys were stars, the Road Warriors, the Rock and Roll Express, Dusty Rhodes, Nikita Koloff, the Horsemen, all of them. But talking about the faces, I got to see that as a kid in the mid to late 80s for Crockett's. The Road Warrior Pop, just like you saw on TV, was great, right? The Rock and Roll Express were wildly over. Dusty Rhodes was over. Nikita Koloff, when he turned face in Charlotte to help Dusty in the cage, um, after Magnum's accident, that was a big pop. But here's the question I got. And, you know, being a child, of course, a lot of pops were going to be, from the crowd, was going to seem over the top to me, right? But I do know this. I know that even with 70,000 people in a stadium nowadays, a lot of times you cannot reenact that Road Warrior or Rock and Roll Express or the Dusty Rhodes pop that you got in a 10,000 seat arena just in Charlotte. I know the crowds are different nowadays, the way they react. They're loud, but they're just not the same as the rowdy 80 fans that was in the area of the Carolinas and Virginia and Georgia and all that. You just don't have it. Florida fans were, just any territory fan back in the day was into their wrestling, even Memphis. But what I'm trying to get at here in a nutshell, and I get to the point, I guess, instead of rambling on, the Rock and Roll Express and Morton and Gibson both said it on interviews. It's been said by others that they were over more than Dusty Rhodes in the Crockett territory, and they were deliberately put on B and C towns. Well, mainly B towns. They call it their B town. I don't like calling towns B and C and A just because of their size. To me, every fan deserved a good show. But when we talk about an A and B town, do you think what was said was true, that Dusty Rhodes actually put the Rock and Roll Express in a different town away from him, or he would literally want to team with them to get that Rock and Roll Express pop? Do you think he put them over to the B town to get so Dusty would be singled out in Charlotte per se, and the Rock and Roll Express were over in some small town in Western Carolina? What do you think about that? Do you think Dusty really did that? That's what the rumor is.
So let me see if I got this straight. You saying that Dusty, like the Rock and Roll Express, was giving like the rub to Dusty Rhodes for him to get a more of a pop when he comes out?
In a nutshell, kind of. But what I'm really saying is, Dusty Rhodes was kind of jealous, is what I hear, of the Rock and Roll Express's pop, and they were so over that they were more over than Dusty was, and Dusty was the booker.
I don't think so. Like you got just say like you got the Horsemen. No matter what, they got the pop in the Carolinas. Dusty, main event, he's gonna get a pop no matter where he goes. Rock Roll Express, they're gonna get a pop, but I don't think they're gonna give much of a pop like say like the Four Horsemen or even Dusty, but they're gonna have their pop where kind of more like their hometown, their whatever. Now, if they're up in their hometown, then yes, they're probably going to get a bigger pop than Dusty Rhodes. I just don't think that Dusty was ever jealous of the Rock and Roll Express and their pop and everything. And I don't think they ever gave the rub to Dusty to give him more of a pop. Like, it's videos, like, Dusty got some really good pops. What's his is loud as, like, The Rock and Stone Cold, the Four Horsemen, Sting, and all of them. No, but he's up there, you know. So I don't think he was ever jealous. Dusty knew he's a smart man. He knows where kind of like where he was on the card and stuff. So saying like a tag team had more of a pop than like say like a main eventer, it's not really like realistic, you know. Like say like the Good Brothers, they come out to a major pop. But then you got AJ Styles coming out, the leader of like the OC, the Bullet Club, when he was in charge and everything. He's going to get a more of a pop than the Good Brothers are.
Right.
So it's like the main event's always going to get that bigger pop than the tag team, but they had their own major pops when they're like up in their hometown and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So the reason I brought that up, because you brought up Road Warrior pop, and that is an unbelievable pop. The Road Warrior pop is something that everybody talks about. Other tag teams years later have talked about that. The Dudleys, everybody's talked about it. But, you know, you also hear the shoot interviews about how it said that they were over more than Dusty and even Charlotte, and got like a Bruce Springsteen type of reaction and beat a attendance record with the Rock and Roll Express on main event. So, you know, like I said, I was a kid during that time. Of course, everything's going to look bigger and better, and, you know, to me, because it's memories. But I really can't say who had the biggest pop. And I can't go on record to say. I can speculate all day. Cause I tell everybody that when Nikita turned face in Charlotte, that was one of the loudest pops I ever heard. At that time frame, it probably was. It was a big deal. Magnum just had his accident, and he was pretty much turning face to sympathize for Magnum's injury and felt for Magnum. He kind of like, oh, I feel for this guy now. In a way, I respected him, but the battles we had and sort of like the Rocky movie and Rocky IV, the Russian and Rocky, where at the end peace was made. Sort of like that. I think they were playing off the movie. Unfortunately, it just happened when right after Magnum's accident. So that's the only tragic part of that. Do I think Nikita would have turned face anyway? That's a good question. Because Nikita was over as a heel, he was so good in 1984 to 1986 as a heel. Then he turned late 86 face, and he ended up his, career with Crockett as a face, and even left one time for family stuff. Came back and he had a flat top. I don't know if you've seen any of the footage with Nikita with a flat top. I don't know if we've even talked about that before, but it looked really weird to me as a kid. But yeah, anyway, so that's the rumor that the pop there, and Dusty had ill feelings, and people feel like Dusty may have held people down at times because of that. I really can't say. I wasn't around that era, but I do know that he was a really good booker because he made lots of money for Crockett. When he came in, and I believe it was late 83, going into 84, he started turning that business around for the Mid-Atlantic. Actually made the action a lot more exciting. Except for Steamboat and Youngblood, which their tag team matches with Slaughter and Kernodle before the Dusty era are something to watch. You want some good tag team wrestling, go watch that right there. I also watch matches with the Briscoes and Youngblood and Steamboat. Good stuff. But back, since we're talking about tag team still, and we led into something off because that's what I do. I lead us off into a different direction. Before we move on, any other Good Brother news that we need to speak of today?
Well, you just said they're gonna make their MLW debut November 20th.
Yep.
They just had a match on NWA Power. You can watch that on the Roku channel and stuff like that. And they said their goal there is to win the NWA Tag Team Championships. So I think it'd be good for them. They're like, no matter what, they're a good tag team. You can't say really they're not a good tag team because they are. Even if you don't really like them, they're heels or whatever. They really are a good tag team. But they also like that little throwback style. So I think it'd be good for NWA if they do win it one day. But if not, just remember NWA was holding them back. Just like WWE, they should have more championship runs in WWE, but WWE is they don't know how to book tag teams, in my opinion. Doesn't matter who you are, they don't. We'll get into that one later on if you
Sure.
want.
Absolutely.
But then I saw somewhere tonight that they are going to go for the AAW Tag Team Championships and another promotion. So who knows? Maybe they become like a tag team belt collector, like so many other people have done it. Zack Ryder done it before, and then he got hurt, had to give up all the championships. Mercedes Moné is doing it. She's got like 12 or 13 championships right now, just carrying them around. but you don't really see like a tag team. You got the Hardys, but they won like 2 or 3. Honestly, I'm not a real big fan of somebody coming in and taking up all the championships.
Yeah.
It's good for like promotions for people to get their eyes on their product, but I mean, you don't have a world champion no more because somebody's holding 13 belts. So,
Well, speaking of that subject, dude, did you hear this about the Monet situation? The rumor is Tony Khan is paying other promotions to let her have the women's titles.
yeah, it's also another rumor that he's got like a major crush on Mercedes Monet. He liked her ever since like WWE. So is he just trying to push her, giving her like a big money contract and stuff like that because he's got a crush on her?
Could be.
So I mean,
Yeah. I've known promoters over the years that did that.
Well, we also know millionaires and billionaires from other companies doing stuff to the female. So maybe it's up in AEW too.
I mean, it could be. I wouldn't put it past. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about a former WWE chairman or nothing like that.
No, why would you?
I'm not saying that because he's got lawyers. Even his cheapest lawyer will beat me up in a courtroom.
Oh yeah.
But
what's the deal with his hair though, bro?
Well, I don't know. It looks like a reverse skunk or something.
Like remind me of Pepe Le Pew. You know who that is?
Yeah, it really does. But everybody talks about the hair, but not really why everybody saw the hair to start with. And that's because he debuted that hairstyle while he was going to court for when he had that run in with a car and total cars and stuff like that. But he pretty much got off free on that one. He's got so many community service hours, and it's got to pay like $1,000 or something. And then after like a year, if he stays good, it's just brushed underneath the table, not to be talked about or seen again.
I mean, what kind of community service are they giving Vince McMahon? Is he gonna be out here like picking up trash with the inmates?
No,
what is he doing?
No, he's going to WWE and pass out popcorn to fans.
I know you're joking.
I am, but would that be something that he's got to do, like some kind of community service project for the WWE,
or he had to do it for Tony Khan?
Well, I think he'd be okay with that. I don't think he would try to do anything with WWE, just how they done him and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But if he does it for AEW, who knows? He could be like, "Oh, I could take over this," and he takes over.
I'm thinking if I'm the judge, though, man, over a guy like McMahon that's used to, living a pretty lavish lifestyle compared to most people, I think I'd have him out here going to the soup kitchens and doing community work with homeless and, let him see what life is out there. Like hard times, baby, hard times, right?
I mean, that'd be a good thing for him to do, and that was a terrible Dusty Rhodes impression.
Yeah, but I can't do one. So.
But I didn't hear nothing like it was like a couple $1,000s or something that he had to pay or something.
Well, that's probably changed to him.
But he totaled his car and the person's other car. At least buy them a new car or something.
Well, I guess his insurance company did that, right?
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. It's just, but the insurance company, if you're like Vincent, got all that money, don't let the insurance company do it. Make him buy her a new car. Like, that might be a little slap on the wrist still, but that's little bit more money out of his pocket,
That's
you
true.
know?
Yeah, yeah. And he clearly was at fault, I heard. So,
Yeah, it was definitely his fault.
yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Uh, that hair though, I can't get over it.
You can
So
grow your hair back out and do it.
yeah, I'll pass. I guess I'll stay bald. Um, let's see here. So we were talking about stuff going on. I also read, Mike, with the media rights for the WWE's PLEs, that they're also going to stream them on Peacock until March of next year.
Yeah, I heard that too. Uh, Apparently, ESPN is very disappointed in the sales and stuff for WWE PLEs and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
I saw that coming
they're
a mile away.
apparently they're not making no money. They're losing a whole lot of money on it. So who knows? Maybe if ESPN is smart, if they're losing as much money that I kind of heard, then who knows? Maybe they could buy the contract out and stuff, and WWE might move back to Peacock or something. Like ESPN would lose money that way, but I've heard they lost a lot of money already on just pay-per-views.
Yeah. That's what is going around, and I'm sure it's factual. Um, you know, and you think about it, when the media rights deal runs out though with the PLEs, does the actual content that's on there from the territories and the older companies, I wonder if we lose all that too.
I don't, I don't know. One time I heard that uh, we wasn't going to lose it, but who knows? Maybe if they extended it out to what'd you say, March?
Yes.
Uh, maybe maybe going to find a way to leave it on Peacock, and since ESPN is losing all the money, and maybe try to share it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the wrestling landscape has changed so much through the years and the decades. It ain't even funny. And then with TKO taking over the WWE, I don't know what to think of it anymore. You know, if it was still, a publicly traded company, and Vince McMahon still had his hand on it, basically, I think it would be ran a whole lot different than what we're seeing. And the way the product is given to the consumer would be given a whole lot cheaper as well. But that's
Yeah,
what,
I mean,
yeah.
it could be cheaper that way, but I don't know. It's there. I don't know how WWE can be making all this money that they said they're making, but they're losing money on the ESPN deal. They're losing. TKO is so far in debt. Like, I don't understand how they could be in debt and losing money everywhere, but WWE is still making money.
Yeah. It's
Like,
basically,
it's got to be something that they're not telling nobody that they're why they're losing all this money.
well, I just think, you know, every company has debt, but with the debt that's being talked about with TKO having, it's astronomical like that. And all the ticket prices for a company like WWE just went overnight, went high. It just goes to show that, I don't know TKO's whole business model and all that, but it just goes to show that maybe a company that bought another company, um, shouldn't have bought that other company. Maybe they wasn't financially able to buy it. And in the long run, the people hurting from it are the people buying the tickets. But here's the problem with that. Everybody wants the people that aren't going to these events are complaining, but they can also blame the people. And you said this earlier to me in a conversation on the phone. They can also blame the other consumers for buying the high ticket prices at this high level, because if they wasn't buying them, obviously TKO and the WWE or whatever would not be charging these high ticket prices. people have to buy it in order for it to be all right. And at that point, you see it's okay. You're going to try a little more, and a little more, and it just gets out of hand. And that's exactly what's happened here, in layman's terms to everybody out there, because I don't know the whole financial background, any of this, but it's crazy. But another point you made, and which made perfectly good sense, you compared the Major League Baseball World Series from, I think you was in the 1930s or something, Mike. You can tell us all about it here in a second. But the inflation rate and all that on it or whatever, but it's out of hand too. It's every sports league. And I just think also on that note, TKO may be in debt, but I also see them saying, well, we charge high ticket prices for the UFC. Oh, by the way, Major League Baseball over here does it. They get by with it. The NFL does it for the Super Bowls and stuff. They get by with it. Hockey League gets by with it, blah, blah, blah. And I think they're also using that business model as, hey, we're a main sports company and we're going to charge these high prices to pay our high paid athletes, and you're going to buy the tickets to come see them.
Yeah. Going back to, so the first part was baseball. Up in 1933, I saw a World Series ticket was like $60-some, I think. But with inflation, it was like 138, 183 if you count like inflations and stuff. But now, this World Series now, for like the 200th level, so not down low, but way up there, was like $11,000 for a ticket. So shame on the consumer, really. Like, we joked about it, but shame on all of us that we're letting them get away with it.
Yeah.
Like $11,000, I was like, it's like what, the best of 7, I think, for the World Series. But either way, 5 games, that's $55,000 if you go to all of them.
Yeah.
And that's not even like behind home plate. Like, so, and then WWE, I saw that everybody's complaining about the ticket prices, but I heard that they're going to keep raising the prices up because the consumer will keep going. So, like, I'm never gonna probably go to a WWE event again. Like, I just can't afford it. Like it's like we laugh and joke about it, but it's really sad that like, if you got the money and you want to use it for that, that's fine with me. I'm just saying that I would never be able to do that. Uh, but the money that I would use for like a wrestling event would be South Atlantic Pro Wrestling when they come to a town near you in the future. So
That is a good observation. It'll be
I
family
would.
pricing. Yeah.
So, like, I would use my money for that because it's gonna be a family show, good wrestling, everything. So, but the ticket prices for WWE is just outrageous. The NFL, I'm never gonna go see a Super Bowl, and I'm okay with that. It's just so much money that we could use for other stuff. Like, could you imagine? So, I forgot how much the ticket price was for WWE that we talked about a couple of weeks ago for like one thing. Back in the 90s, you could have spent all that money and probably been to every single pay per view back when they was good, was called pay per views. You could probably use all that money now back then for like 2 whole years of going to pay per views and stuff. So it's crazy how we're just letting that happen and stuff.
Yeah, it's across the board. We talked about it. It's the big sports leagues are doing it, and because we had a conversation the other day here at my place, me and Julia, about going to the Lightning hockey games, and I made a joke. I'm like, well, if the Lightning tickets are as high as going to some of these sporting events and the WWE, I said, probably not. I said, I don't want to waste my money on it. And then I said, we got on the conversation. I said, it just goes back to the minor league baseball teams and the minor league hockey leagues and other towns. And their tickets are still affordable to get the audience in. It's just the major league sporting events. When I say that, it's not your independent wrestling is what I'm getting at. It's not your NWA group. They have family ticket prices still. It's not your, MLW. And then when you go over to baseball, it's not the Southern League or the Sunshine League or whatever. There's so many different leagues. It's not AAA ball. They're not doing it to their fans that come out to their games. It's Major League Baseball. You know what I'm getting at here. It's all the big groups. And, but wrestlers the wrestling community, in WWE even, they're making, quite a few of them are making millions a year, but they're not making money like some of the NBA stars. I read the other day, I can't even think the guy's name. He signed a $91 million deal. $91 million. He's not worth that $91 million, but apparently the people that own that team thinks he is, and apparently they're going to make that money back. So maybe he is worth $91 million. I don't see it. And I also told, when we were talking about it, I told Jules, I said, I know guys in this world out there that would go play for the NBA for not even a fourth of that they'd play for it, right? Just like I also use the example, I know guys in the wrestling business that are better than a lot of the guys making the millions on TV right now that would go work for a lot less. I think everybody gets pig-headed once you make it too far sometimes, and you forget why you're doing what you're doing and what you're doing it for. Yes, you got to get paid. We all go to work to get paid. I'm not making millions right now, but what I'm getting at here is we all go to work to get paid. But at the end of the day, when you're in an entertainment type field and athletics, you got to look back and go, your love of the game when you were making hardly nothing. But now you don't have the love of the game. You have the love of monetary gain. And that's what it gets to, and I guarantee you right now, WWE and AEW both, I don't know what they're paying real refs over at AEW, but I'm sure that unless pay scale's bad for the referees at WWE now, which I'm pretty sure it's not, if they're making what I think they're making at WWE, what I've heard, I'd do it for half. I'd still make a living, but I actually love the business. I didn't get in it because I thought it was cool. I didn't get in it because, I think being a referee is cool because I really couldn't make it as a wrestler type thing. I got in it to begin with as a referee. I wasn't a wrestler to begin with. I trained to be a wrestler. Did a few matches over the years, fill in and stuff for different people, but I didn't make a career out of it. I fell in love with refereeing from the first night in, and when they threw me in the ring, hardly knowing anything as a 15-year-old kid, and I wasn't making any money then. But I loved the business as a child. I got in it. I made it. I made a decent living at certain companies, and got to do a lot of things that I wanted to do. But like I said, I'm not in it because I think it's cool. I'm in the business still, and I was in the business because it was something I really loved to do.
Yeah, like, just give me your honest opinion. Is Roman Reigns right now worth $15 million a year?
Well, here's the thing with that, Mike. I know inflation's up. And I don't know, is that the inflation rate of what a Kevin Nash would have made in the WCW in the late 90s? A Hulk Hogan? Is that what the inflation rate is? I mean, or is he just, they're just handing out big sport contracts. I don't know. It's hard to explain that because maybe the inflation rate is that big a difference from the late 90s to now. It could be. And if it is, um, that's one thing. But if it's not, we may need to reevaluate everything. But you also got to look at something as well. Their schedules in the 80s and 90s for these guys. Well, the 80s, nobody's making millions probably. Maybe Hogan, a couple of them were making millions. A couple guys for Vince, but everybody else wasn't. But in the 90s, especially the mid to late 90s, it became a common practice, big contract deals, and Nash and Hall. And, well, Hogan already had them, but Nash and Hall came in and made it a thing pretty much, and then it followed suit. But that's a big money deal, man. $15 million. Is he the highest paid, or is someone else getting more?
I think like people that wrestles, I think he's like right there. They count like everybody, like The Rock, John Cena. You don't really count them because Rocket is just on the board. Cena's retirement tour got to go with this Hollywood schedule. They was still paying Brock. I heard that they was paying Brock, but then they quietly released him. That way AEW wouldn't pick him up and stuff. So if you don't count them, he should be the highest paid one. But he's not worth $15 million. I like Roman. I like the bloodline, storyline and stuff like that. But in my opinion, he is not worth no $15 million.
Well, let me ask you this. Does he even have 15 matches a year?
No, this year alone, just 2025, he's only had 5 matches. They was all on PLEs, so that equals out to $3 million a match.
There's no way. Yeah.
And he's not worth that much. Like if he shows up like more, like you said, 15 times a year, it'd be great. Like having 15 matches, not just showing up.
Yeah.
That'd be like I can understand that, but like he showed up a few times, like on Raw, SmackDown, stuff like that. But just matches, only 5 matches all year, so that equals out to really $3 million a match.
My goodness. If you put it to me that way, no. And also on top of that, the only thing I can say is you can't blame him for taking the money if they're going to give it to him. And God bless you for taking it, because that's a heck of a deal, my man. But when it comes down to it, the root of it all, no. That is way too much money for a company, especially a company that is milking their fans and the ones that are buying the tickets that hear this stuff. I don't know why you'd even buy a ticket. These guys are getting paid that much, and that's part of the problem right there is a company in debt, and then they're paying these big contracts out on top of it. What do you think's going to happen? And then they got, TKO's got a lot of things under the umbrella that they got to worry about. It's the rodeo, it's the big rodeo. Is it the PBR? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they own them too, man. And I'm just going to say it. There's no way the rodeo ain't killing them too. I'm sure some of that debt is because of the rodeo. But yet you're making your wrestling and your other UFC and all these fans pick up the bill. And I think do they own Major League Soccer? I'm not even sure about that.
I don't know. They own like probably about like at least 8 different like sporting things.
Yeah,
So
the things but the things that are killing them, Mike. Here's the problem: the things that are killing them in debt, they're making the other things pick up that tab. And maybe they're not, but that's the way it looks.
well, let's just say he's probably getting that big money contract because his cousin The Rock is on the TKO board. People could say it's not because of that; it's because he's a major star, whatever.
Oh, it is.
I'm just throwing it out there.
It
Rock,
is.
me and you could become cousins if you want to pay me $15 million a year.
Hey, Rock, I don't know
So
about you can pay me and Mike 15 together.
Yeah, and I'll be your favorite cousin.
That's right.
So
Oh my! But what about this, Mike? A few weeks ago, didn't his daughter, The Rock's daughter, put a post out there after the Charlie Kirk thing, or she what do you call that? Maybe she didn't make the post, but she like
retreat it.
yeah, sent it out there. She did something,
She
but
did something. I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Uh,
but she didn't get in trouble, did she?
no, you would think she would at least got maybe suspended or something, like something, because everybody else, they, I've seen people, they said like they just liked the post or something, and they got fired from their jobs and
Yep,
stuff.
yep.
And then she liked it, retweeted, or whatever she did something and nothing.
But
So,
but here's the thing, Mike. I didn't mean to cut you off, by the way. I think I'm getting a little excited here, but here's the thing. If it had been anybody else for that company that wasn't related to anybody or wasn't a top tier star in certain people's eyes, that WWE superstar or whatever you want to call them would have been reprimanded or possibly even fired. It's just the way it is in that business. One guy can do one thing, you're in big trouble or you're fired, but another guy can do something. Oh, it's okay. We'll just sweep this under the carpet here. Like it's not a big deal. And I've seen it firsthand in this business. I have seen it. And, just rare case real quick and we'll move along. And if you got anything else to add, please do. But it's like I've seen guys in this business get DUIs. And if you wasn't related to somebody or who they thought was a big deal, they would fire you. It's just, you know, nepotism and favoritism every which way. If you're not the right person at times, and that's probably in a lot of other walks of life as well, you just don't get the same rub or same push or whatever the case may be.
oh yeah, I agree with that. Back when, say like Jeff Hardy, he had his troubles and stuff. He didn't really get released. He got in trouble a lot, but he didn't really get released or nothing like that until he got older, like really older, and then it was like jail time. Like he's facing like a year or so in jail. Then WWE's like, okay, let me back off and stuff. But he was so much of a big name that they didn't really do nothing to him there for like a long period of time. So with Randy Orton, failed drug tests and everything. I don't think he fails them anymore. Uh, but he used to. He never got released. So, like you said, it depends on who you are and stuff. Uh, but it's if they do it, say like Randy or Jeff does it, but then uh, who's like a lower person on the card? Uh,
Well, you know,
like they're not going to get rid of like the top names. They're going to get rid of the smaller names. So
or if you're not a second or third generation athlete as well.
yeah, so I mean it's bad. Like it should be like the same playing field for everybody, no matter if you're the top or the bottom.
That's true.
But they don't see it like that. So
Nope, not at all. And it's also goes down to, if, for example, I guarantee you, if I would have done a tweet or sent something out that someone else had posted, um, I would probably get fired from the actual job I have now because of the way the world is. But once again, a lot of these celebrities. What's that nighttime talk show host that recently lost his job but got it back?
Jimmy Fallon.
Okay. Jimmy Fallon. That tells you how much I watched him because I didn't even know his name. Because his nighttime show is boring. I don't know why they'd even want him anyway. But look at that. As soon as it blew over, they brought him back. I mean, come on.
Yeah, like not because this whole situation that he did to do whatever. They should have just got rid of his show to start with.
Oh,
Cause
heck yeah.
I'm with you. He wasn't that funny to start with. Uh,
Jay Leno and
show
Johnny
the show.
Carson were the best.
Yeah, and then he was boring, like you said. They don't really. He's the only like late night talk show anymore, ain't he? Like I don't know. Like they
I
don't
don't
have
know.
they don't have none of the good ones that like you just named.
No.
But
Letterman's gone too.
yeah. So I say if we get rid of Jimmy Fallon and then you put me and James right there late night talking, and it'd be better than what he does.
Oh yeah, because I throw out everything on purpose.
Oh, me too.
They might cancel us after a few weeks because some of the stuff we do, but it'd be fun.
It would be fun. I say after the first week we'd probably be canceled. Uh,
Maybe.
you're pushing it to two or three. I say one, and we're
Okay.
going to get a good cancel show. But that one show is going to be marketable, though. Just saying. Uh,
But it is crazy, these ticket prices and the athletes' paydays and the double standards that are held for people, not just in that business but other things. It's totally crazy. Um, yeah, I don't know, dude. Um, yeah. But moving on. Um, we mentioned John Cena was visiting the WWE Performance Center ahead of his final match in December. So was he visiting? Is he training there? Or was he just visiting the center? I really don't know the story behind that.
yeah, I don't know neither. I just saw something about it yesterday or this morning,
I just wonder
but
how they saw him though.
it just looked like he went down there and visited. I don't think he did anything.
Okay.
Um, like I think he just went down there. Maybe he went down there and kind of gave like a talking coach session. I think he's done that before,
Gotcha.
but I don't think he went down there and trained or nothing.
Yeah.
But
He's hard to see though, right?
yeah, but we said we was gonna talk about how his tour's going, right? What? How do you think it's going?
I think, honesty on a send off tour, um, it's good, but it's a little lackluster, and especially the way he turned heel and they turned him back the way they did, back to the good guy John Cena. It's been kind of as a fan point of view. I don't know what the fans think, um, but I would think that they feel a little jaded with the big Rock turn with him, and then of course the Rock ain't coming back, and then all of a sudden he turns back face and we don't get to see no more R-Truth and what he's doing. The angle with R-Truth was gone. It's really a confusing year with the WWE products when it comes to John Cena. Um, but I think they had to do a lot of rearranging storyline wise along the way because of the Rock's not coming back. And I think they turned him a lot sooner face back to the good guy, John Cena, I'm getting at, than they really were attended to. And that's just my opinion. I don't know. This may have been the plan all along. But you want to talk about some Vince Russo writing. I don't know. You might want to say this is some bad writing WWE's been doing.
Yeah, like his final year, I think it would have been cool. You have just say somebody in TNA do an open challenge since the partnership is WWE and TNA. You get Cena to accept the open challenge. You know, like it would have been unexpected and stuff. It would have been whatever. You got him playing like the old hits, like Randy, Cody. Like he did a couple matches with Cody. It's like all the same stuff. Why not? Like Rusev came back. Why not redo that feud? Since Rusev's character has gone to like a upper level, why not do? If you had a partnership with TNA, and Joe Hendry kind of said that he wants to wrestle John Cena, why not make that a match? You know.
Yeah.
Uh, the only one that I've heard that they gave in to the fans so far is because Cena and AJ Styles tweeted about it and got so much momentum because the fans actually started with it was that match, and that was the best one that Cena had on his tour the whole time.
Right.
And the bad thing is Cena's retiring this year. AJ just announced that he's going to retire next year in 2026. But the respect that they have for each other, I don't know. Did you watch any of that match?
No.
All right, so at the beginning, when Cena came out, run the ropes like he always does, AJ got out of the ring so John Cena could have his moment with the fans and stuff. That's a like an awesome show of respect right there. Well, the lady was about to announce AJ Styles. Well, Cena stopped her, gave her a piece of paper, and said that and he wrote out the intro for AJ Styles, which I thought it was pretty cool. It starts off saying that he's the definition of total nonstop action, and then he is the undisputed leader of the Bullet Club. Saying that on a pay-per-view, you throwing TNA, his time in the Bullet Club in there, just showing the respect that he had for AJ at that time. That was like the out of his whole tour that wasn't seem like it was forced by WWE writing and stuff like that. That actually shows respect. That's probably like the best moment. And then they had a phenomenal match. Like I said, it was probably the best one that they had in that whole entire tour.
Okay. I still have not watched that. I may try to uh, get a day and sit back and watch it. Uh, so yeah, I am interested to see. I know they did a lot of finishes in the match, and they kicked out of a lot of major finishes. Is that right?
Yeah, they played like people's hits. Like Cena did like the Walls of Jericho. Uh, they did a rear naked choke. They did AJ hit Cena with the what's that move that Christopher Daniels does, like the fallen angel or something. Like he picks him up and like slams him down like face first and stuff, like upside down.
Yeah,
Uh
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, AJ did that to Cena. They did about seven, 8 different spots because Cena said if he can't face like the people, because there's so many dates that he's got now, he's got like three, I think, that he's trying to show like respect and stuff to everybody that he's did a match with, and it's turned out to be really good, like how he's doing it.
I got one question since you're on that match right now. What is your opinion on them using all them finishers and just kicking out of them?
Uh, I,
You think
so
it's too much or it's good?
I mean, we could do like a deep dive in this and do a whole episode, I think. But like honestly, it's like I never liked every single time like somebody kicks out of a finisher. If it's like say like a WrestleMania and uh you got somebody kicking kicking out of a finisher and it was unexpected, then yeah, that'd be great. But when you're like John is hitting AJ with like 7, 8 different finishers, and he's kicking out of every single one, it's like one or two things. Like you're showing that the finisher is weaker, like when you do it, or the other people when they're facing other people, it's just not as good. Like it's
Right.
uh but you can go back to uh like a super kick. Shawn Michaels finisher, you got James Storm's finisher, Sweet Chin Music's last call super kick. If you want to talk about the Cowboy James Storm, uh great wrestler by the way. Like nobody really kicked out their finishers, you know.
Yeah.
Now you got the Young Bucks, you got uh the Luchadors, you got everybody doing super kicks. Like the Young Bucks, like they just keep super kicking people. Like one time they super kicked somebody like 15 to 18 times. Like I lost count. So many times. Adam Cole, when he was good, like wrestling and stuff, super kicked everybody. Everybody kicked out. When, say like the Young Bucks, it's two of them, Matt and Nick Jackson. You got two people super kicking you nonstop, but then you kick out. But then you got Shawn Michaels, James Storm kicking you, and then you're down, you're out, you're not kicking out. Like it just don't make no sense to me. It's
Right.
like the spear. Like so many people use the spear now. Uh, Jey Uso uses it to win matches. You got Braun Breaker. Good grief, you talking about talent. Uh, he just he'll rip you in two. Like. But then now you got them doing it, but now you got everybody hitting that to set up their finisher. But when Breaker does it, they're out for the count. When they're setting it up for the finisher, they're starting to move. Like they're not even selling it for like 3 seconds. Like they're as soon as they get hit, they're rolling around trying to get back up to take the finisher. So it depends on how you look at it. And my opinion, I know I kind of went off, I think, but I don't like it. Like, I think if you're going to do like a tribute to, like Cena doing the tribute to like the people in his past, don't go with their finisher. Like, do like their signature moves or something. Don't do the finishers because it's just showing the finisher is weak and stuff, in my
Right.
opinion.
Right. Because what I haven't saw it yet, but I heard that, and then when I first heard it, I was like, I could understand maybe one or two moves, but when I understand it was like, I don't know, many different finishers. But I got to go back and look at it to give my honest opinion. But I'm always a big fan of if a finisher's a finisher, it's a finisher. That's a whole lot of finishing there, I know. But it goes back to where the super kick now has been so diluted, it doesn't mean anything. The super kick would probably never finish a match anymore. And
Yeah, I mean, okay, so if you look at it like storytelling, how they did the story and stuff like that, it was a good storytelling with the match, with the finishers and stuff. But doing the finishers and stuff, it just made it look weak. Like back in the day, say 2008, 2009 ish, Cena was beating everybody with this finishing move, right?
yep.
All of a sudden, now he's got to hit it like 4 or 5 times, and then the last one is usually off to like the second rope.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happened? Like, are you just trying to say like the people now are stronger where they can kick out a finisher move? Are you saying that Cena is actually weaker? That he's got to keep hitting all these finisher moves? Like, it's just, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you. A finisher should be a finisher. It's called finisher for a reason. It needs to finish the thing.
Right.
Uh,
And anymore, a lot of them have been watered down so much that if somebody wanted to use it, um, I don't know if you could retrain the national audience to accept that. So because I missed a good super kick finish. It's like out of the blue, and Shawn Michaels or whoever used to use it back in the days. A lot of guys back in the 80s too. Chris Adams had a wonderful super kick. He had a good one. In the 80s going into the 90s, he would use it. But when they hit you with it, you knew it was the finisher. And if it wasn't the finisher, it was some kind of crazy finish nonetheless. But you are completely correct. So
Yeah, it's definitely bad because, like you said, a super kick. You got just say James Storm or somebody, like it knocks them down. But then you got the Young Bucks. Okay, let's do a spear because everybody does a spear. You got Edge, say like Edge is doing it in the main event, laying them out with the spear. Nobody's kicking out of his spear, right?
yeah,
But then in the same show, like a match before, somebody will hit a spear and then they're moving around, getting ready to get up to take the finisher. Like it's like on the same card and stuff. It's not even like two different episodes that they're kicking out the move, and then the very next match, they're finishing with it.
right.
It's like the storytelling in that is just off. Like it just don't make no sense. Like, and I just don't like it. But like you said, how are you going to train the audience to go back to the it's a finisher, it needs to stay a finisher
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like,
Well, on a national
like
level,
you
I think
can't.
we're screwed. Yeah, national level, I think we're screwed at first. Could a smaller group start bringing that type of wrestling back and slowly incorporate it in a different kind of market, maybe a niche scenario, just similar to the way the new style wrestling used to be, you know, like the Ring of Honor type style match, I call it, is what we got, a lot of what we got today, when it was just a niche fans. I think the old school wrestling could be brought back in a manner to maybe have that again at first, and who knows, maybe even bring it back to the forefront. But yeah, it's really, really, really changed. So, with that being said, I just want to let everyone know that, go to cowboyrevolution.com. It's Cowboy Revolution Apparel Company. Go there, look at all the great stuff they have to offer. It is fall. Get you them hoodies now. It is time. Get you a hat also to keep that head warm. And at checkout, use code JamieT123. So with that being said, Mike, I think this podcast this week was a good one. We talked about some good stuff. And I look forward to the next one in the next few days.
Yeah, me too. It was a very good episode. It's always a good episode when the Golden One is on here and we talk about the Good Brothers.
Yep. That, and we yep, go ahead.
And don't forget, I got to throw you up in there too. So I guess you made it okay this time too.
I did, yeah. Hey guys, listen to this. I'm going to go watch a match now, and then we'll cut this thing off for today. I'm going to go watch a match from WCW Nitro. Sting and the Ultimate Warrior. The couple months the Warrior came back, teaming up against Bret Hart and Hollywood Hogan from 1998. So this is before the Russo era and before I actually started working for WCW. So I'm going to go back and relive this like I would be watching it at home as a fan. So go find you something good to watch wrestling wise too, guys. And it doesn't have to be current. It could be something from yesteryear. With that said, my man, I think it's time to cut it out for the week. I do appreciate everyone listening. So from me, Mr. 2020, and tell everybody,
The Golden One.